Today we had to kick off the new standard rotation with a Mardu mob special, because with the new cards coming out, you guys know I had to try out the Liliana of the Veil. Now, if you guys don't know, Liliana of the Veil is going to be promoting us and our opponents discarding cards throughout the game. So we had to build a synergy around that idea, and this is what we landed on. We've got some pretty cool, interesting synergies with things like Obnixilis and Sarah Paragon. If you don't know, Obnixilis, once their hand is completely depleted, it's going to be pinging them to death as a potential win con. But also the Paragon is going to allow us to replay permanents with mana value 3 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield again as a reanimator spell every single turn, which plays really well with Liliana because we're going to be discarding cards into the graveyard, and our entire deck is consistent of 3 mana permanents or less. We got some really fun other spells that are new in this deck as well. We got things like Temporary Lockdown as our sweeper of choice. This is going to allow us to take care of the board if it gets a little too aggro early on, because we do like to grind out the games a little bit longer. And we also have things like Braids. Braids is going to be a really fun synergistic card to the deck because it is going to force our opponents into some bad decisions. We're going to be sacrificing our permanents and then having our opponent potentially have to sacrifice their own, or allowing us to draw into some more cards. It works really, really well with this deck, especially because the Paragon's going to allow us to keep replaying the things we sacrifice for some really fun infinite loops. The deck is a lot of fun and actually turned out to be quite powerful. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. There will be a full deck breakdown at the end of today's video as always. And in the meantime, there's a link in the description below for the full deck list. And if you guys enjoy content just like this, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like and a subscribe, both ways are free ways to help grow and support the channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. With that being said, guys, enjoy today's video. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Today is a very special day. Obviously, we have a brand new standard, and this one should be a lot of fun, man. We're starting things off right. We're doing it with Mardu, of course. Had to show the Mardu some love. Very interesting deck that we have here. It's hard to describe exactly what it is we're going to be doing here, but essentially, sorry, allergies are going a little crazy. Essentially, we're trying to make our opponent discard their entire hand at some point in this game with Liliana and things like that. Take advantage of the Obnixilis to hopefully close the game out. But it should be a lot of fun, man. It should be a lot of fun. It does a little bit of everything that I like. Sacrifice. It has a little bit of reanimation in this, in this deck. We've got things like the Paragon, which are going to bring creatures and things back from the graveyard, which is a lot of fun to do. All right, Tenacious Underdog is a bit of a problem. A little bit of a problem. Another Obnixilis is interesting. All right, so they get their Liliana down. I wonder if they're going to minus or plus. They do plus it. Okay, I figured as much. Okay, so I guess we can drop the Obscura. Paragon can get that back later. Paragon can get anything back later, which is fantastic. They get a Junji in the graveyard. All right, there's our Paragon, and we're gonna go straight into a Circuit Mender. It gives us a good block against the underdog. No attacks. One more land does open up the door for the Paragon, which is fantastic. Graveyard Trespasser, that's a problem. That is a big problem because it does exile our graveyard, which we need those cards to be replayable. So we don't like that. Liliana going off again. Probably drop an Obnixilis if I'm being honest. I think that's fine. We have an opponent running a very similar game plan to our own. What do we do here? I think we go Paragon, and hear me out. This is why I think we go Paragon here, is because of the Graveyard Trespasser's ability to exile our graveyard. The only way that they're going to not attack into us to do so is if we have a body big enough to block it, right? And so I think if we go with the Obnixilis play, they're going to be swinging in pretty freely, which is just going to exile our graveyard. So I think getting the Paragon in play here is the move, and we say no attacks. I don't know if that's the right move, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure it is, but all right, that's fine. All right, we're freely gonna drop this, no problem, because we can bring it back next turn from the graveyard. No attacks. Yep, I didn't think so. Part of me wants to go with the Riveteers, just to I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna go Ob Nixilis here. I'm gonna go Ob Nixilis here because I get to draw a card off of this stack here, and I get 2 Ob Nixilis, which is gonna start, you know, pinging our opponent for some damage, which you'd love to see. Just, you know, pinging them to death. This is where we start to take the lead. If they can't deal with the Ob Nixilis, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble. We're gonna play this out, drawing another card. The Paragon is so good when paired up with, you know, these creatures that we can keep bringing back. Liliana, though, about to be able to -6, which we can't really have, can we? Can't really have that, which does open the door for an attack, though, against my Ob Nixilises, but it's fine. I cannot afford for my opponent to be able to alt the Liliana. Okay, so they're running some green.
We all have things we'd rather.
Interesting. That's it? All right. Well, we're gonna go. We're gonna go with this Spirited Companion because we can replay it. All right. Interesting choice for them to let me just kind of do what I need to do here. I think we just shut him down here with the Ob Nixilis, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I think that's the move, though. I think we go here into another Ob Nixilis, which means we should probably use the original here to create a devil. Then we go underdog into a second Ob Nixilis from the grave. And then we plus 2 more times, putting us up to 20 life total. We don't care about the Liliana too much. What did we do here? We played out 2 spells, so it's gonna go back to daytime, so that'll be a 3/3, so it won't be able to attack through here. We'll just do it like so. I gotta keep Liliana from being able to minus at all. If they minus at all into, like, you know, making me sacrifice one of these creatures, it'd be a bit of a bummer. That's not good, though. That is very bad. That is very, very bad. I do have the underdog, though, which can come in for blitz and get some attacks through here. I wonder how they approach the Ob Nixilis, though. Are they gonna send their whole squad? If they do, though, the Graveyard Trespasser does, you know, exile 1 card from our graveyard, which we can't really have. Surprised they're giving us this for our turn. I'm surprised they didn't send more attackers through there. It's very confusing. All right, they're gonna take 6 damage here, which puts them really close to being lethal out of here. All right, let's go ahead and send in the underdog. Underdog at Liliana. We trade underdogs, totally fine. Another land. Not exactly what we wanted to see there, is it? Not really. Not really. All right, so they're at 8 life total right now. We have 3 Ob Nixilis with 5 loyalty each on them. This is a tricky game, man. This is not the matchup we wanted to see. That's for sure. That is for sure. All right, so the Tenacious Underdog comes in, which means it's going to attack freely. There's no way they're not going to attack with that thing. And whenever they draw a card, they gain 2 life. So they're going to get themselves out of range of lethal here by drawing with the Tenacious Underdog. But I still think it's worth blocking here. Still think it's worth blocking here.
Oh, give it up already.
They're leaving back a blocker with the trespasser. Things are gonna get real here in a second. They draw, you know, getting to 7 life total is a big deal. Puts them right out of range. Puts them right out of range. Circuit Mender, huh? Circuit Mender.
Defy me, and you lose everything.
Okay.
Good.
This is a tricky game, man. We attack in, we can get rid of the trespasser, which is good. Very good. We pretty much protect almost all the Obnixilis here, except for the one that has 3 loyalty. Still in the driver's seat here for sure. Ooh, that land drop there might have been a mistake on my part. I probably should have saved that for the discard, because you know that Liliana is going to plus here, I would imagine. Bit of a mistake on my end. Very cool deck this is though, man. I hope you guys are enjoying this, man. It's a lot of fun, this one. It's a lot of fun. If we find a Paragon, this game is as good as over, but I just don't know if we're gonna be able to pull it off or not. We'll see. The opponent, you know, gains 2 more life again, but they elect not to attack into a second ob there. They're at 5. Another land. Getting absolutely destroyed by lands in my hand. Let's keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Keep the discarding going.
And you lose everything.
Keep the discarding up.
Good. Plead for me.
All right, we do attack in here with the underdog again, forcing them to make a block. They would have blocked either way. They have, you know, a 4 or 5 body. Why wouldn't they? So we draw. And okay, it's not bad. Braids is not a bad card. I am going to hold the land this time to discard it if Liliana pluses, which we know it will. All right, so Braids is going to change things here, because Braids is also going to enact another damage source for us. It's going to either deal them 2 damage and allowing me to draw a card, or they're going to have to start sacrificing some things, which feels pretty cool. I have 2 Obnixilis, by the way, that are at 7s, and we could just alt one of them and win the game. So they do have to attack with both here. Okay. They must not know the severity of the alt here. Feels bad that they lost that way. They did not realize that the alt was deal 7 damage. Feels bad, man. We didn't even get the chance to play the Braids. Would have been really cool to play it out and show you guys how good it could have been. I actually kind of wanted them to send down the Tenacious Underdog and attack in to stop those alts, because I would have got the Braids in and I would have been able to sack the Circuit Mender, forcing them to sack a creature. Otherwise, we draw a card and they, you know, get dealt 2 damage. So either way, really fun first game. Good start. This deck is very reminiscent of a Mardu Sacrifice list we had not too long ago, like maybe a month or 2 ago. It was a very, very powerful deck, and this one feels pretty good. It's, you know, it feels pretty good for what it is. Opening hand here feels really good because of the cards in hand, but the mana just scares me. I don't know if it's good enough. I don't think that'd be a very smart keep, if I'm being honest. All right, this is better. This is better. We got our win con, which is basically the Obnixilis is our win con. Just go here. I have a feeling that the mana bases of most of these decks are going to be the hardest thing for me to figure out going forward. Mana bases are always the trickiest thing for me to dial in. I see some Gruul land here, which means the lockdown might be pretty good. We'll see. I gotta imagine they have a turn 2 play, but I don't know. They did just pass over to main phase 2 pretty fast. Interesting. All right, let's go get a red source here. I have to imagine our companions are pretty safe as far as removal and sweepers go, because we are up against Gruul. which means our opponent is probably on some sort of fight tactics and some sort of big creatures. All right, that works. All right, do we want to get the Paragon in now? We could, but I don't think it's necessary. I think getting down on Ob Nixilis seems fine. I think it seems fine. Create another blocker in case they drop a haste creature, which is possible. I mean, a Stormbreaker or whatever. Let's create another blocker and then just start plussing the obs here and see what we can do. And then next turn we could play out the Paragon, which is a 3/4 body, which is more than big enough to you know, compensate the Tovolar. And we have a land we can, you know, guaranteed drop as well. So feels pretty solid. This deck feels very consistent. The you know, we played a lot of games with this thing and made a lot of adjustments along the way, but the initial deck list that I put together was pretty similar to this one. We went 6-0 out of the gate. This thing was wildly powerful, and then we ran into a bit of trouble here and there with certain things. We had a drag to the bottom. We took that out for temporary lockdown. There were some changes we made along the way, and we kind of got a little too far out of pocket with the changes. I had to revert back a little bit, and I think we're in a good spot now. All right, a 3/3 body that says whenever damage, right? Whenever is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. I don't mind killing Tovolar here. I don't mind killing Tovolar at all. Tovolar is too powerful of a card for them to have, especially when we're trying to focus in on our discard mechanics, you know? Now, there's a problem, though. The Paragon. If we play out the Paragon and it blocks the Ill-Tempered Loner, it does allow the Loner to then throw 3 damage right back at the Paragon. So, it creates this problem for us. I don't know if our opponent thought this attack through. They might be upset right now. I don't know. I guess they did. Okay. I thought maybe for a second there they might have just started roping us out of like being upset about their decision. All right. I think all I'm going to do here is actually just play out both the Circuit Mender and the Beetle. Because again, I don't really want this 3 damage being thrown at my Paragon. And I don't mind making them discard a card. That seems pretty fun. Discarding cards is always a good time for me on this end. This thing does what now? It becomes night and day. Got it, got it. And every time it switches, draw a card. Whenever it deals combat damage, draw a card. So this is okay. Interesting. So we are going to draw a card off of the Circuit Mender if they attack in, which I would imagine they will. Arlen, that's tough. I mean, we do have the temporary lockdown though, so that's really nice. That is really nice. Be good if we get like a playable 2-drop off the top. That'd be great. Three damage. Where are they going to take that? Right to the Ob. I figured as much. All right, we get Reckoner's Bargain. That's not bad.
Smug look off your face.
I think we could take a turn off from being able to play the temporary lockdown. I think that's more than okay to just play out the Paragon here. Yeah, the Paragon's a fine play. Don't know what I want to do with the 2 mana though.
Pleasure doing
I would imagine the Paragon is safe from removal just because of burn and fight mechanics, right? So I mean the bargain. I mean, let's just get the value while we can out of the Paragon. Let's play out the Spirited Companion. No tax. Arlen's gonna be able to plus, which means that they can play things in for flash, which means we got to be careful when we attack. Arlen's a tricky one, man. I think we're gonna see a lot more of Arlen these days. That's the thing with set rotations. Things just get more powerful out of nowhere because we lose a lot of things that were once good, you know? All right, let's go Circuit Mender. Let's plus this up.
By coin or carnage, tribute is owed.
Temporary lockdown still looking pretty good. I don't want to get rid of my Spirited Companion and Beetle though, just yet. I think we just hold the bargain. Couple bargains, you know, block stacks seem pretty good. Drawing a bunch of cards. The value train is here, man. The value train has arrived and we are drawing a boatload of cards. This would be working really, really well too. If we can get a Liliana down, I mean, we're in really good shape. Just get our opponent's hand completely emptied out. Sure. Just got trample now though, which is a bit of a problem. Because now they draw a card, right? We might have to give up the Obnixilis here. They don't draw a card. That's good. Let's do this actually, because we can get this back. Yeah, we're gonna have to let the Obnixilis go, I believe. I don't think protecting it's the way to go. I could have protected it. I could have gone 1-1 and then blocked here and protected the Ob, but I don't think the Ob's that important right now. I think once we, you know, once we start to just overvalue them with the draw engine. What's this doing? This is going here. Okay. Fine by me. All right, so much cards coming back to our hand this turn. So many. Braids, let's go. Love that. I mean, we're up to 33 life, which is wild. Absolutely wild.
All my fun.
All right, what's the one card we want to play from here? Probably Obnixilis, right? Probably. Just kind of rinse repeat here. I mean, we're at 37 life total. There's no reason to minus any of these Obs. There's no shot. No shot that that's a good idea.
You'll lose everything.
All right, let's play out the braids because it's going to be a lot of fun. Basically, that's the only reason why I'm playing it out. All right, we're going to attack in for 3, putting them down to 4. And then we end our turn, and then the braids is going to sacrifice a land. So they either have to sacrifice a land or give us a card and take 2 damage. Not a good decision to have to make. Braids is crazy. Braids is crazy. It's a tough decision. I mean, you're down to 4. You don't have anything to block in the air, I would imagine. They might have a good way to deal with the 3/4 flyer though, with like a fight spell, because they have a 4/4 body now. And once they do that, they can kill the braids too in response. They could probably sweep the board here. There is a very, very small chance that with one of these in hand, they can sweep my entire board and kill both Obs, which would be pretty wild. Game's definitely not over yet. Not over yet. Hope you guys are enjoying today's video, man. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it a lot. Thanks for supporting the channel like this and checking out the channel today, man. Come on, shorty. You gotta make a decision. I hate the Yurgo, but I mean, this is what it's for, right? I mean, I hope they're not upset. I hope they're not trying to stall out because they're upset. That would be a bummer to start off the new season, the new rotation off this way. Yeah, it looks like they're just gonna rope us out here, I would imagine. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and make a cut here, and we'll see you guys on the other side. All right, we're back temporarily. They did take the damage. They let me draw a card because I think they just left their computer on and walked away because they're upset, but who knows? I hope not. Doesn't seem like there's been a lot of problems either with the update. I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised. Oh, they're back. Oh, wow. Didn't expect that. Their last card is a Piper, which does what exactly? You may put a creature card from your hand on the battlefield for 2. Got it. I remember this guy. I remember the Piper. If either of these Ob Nixilis survives, you lose the game. So you got to swing everything at him, right? You lose. You lose, my friend. You had to swing the 2 wolves at the 2 loyalty Ob because all I got to do is plus it and it's game over. All right, there we go. Scoops it up. Let's go. Very nice. On to the next one. That one took a little while longer than it should have, but GG's. Very fun game. This feels so clean. I love playing new decks, man. This one feels good. This one feels really good. Shout out to the Paragon, man. Such a powerful card. Braids has been pretty cool too. Braids is pretty cool. I did initially have 3 and 3, but I went 4 and 2 because Braids was really cool, but it was a little bit more niche. This was like, if we got it down almost every time we were winning the game. So that's why we did it that way. But this is a scary keep for sure. But I think as long as we hit one more land drop and get the Circuit Mender in, we're good to go. We'll be chilling. This says sacrifice to draw a card. It's okay. A 2/3 cat. All right, I'm glad we got the Spirited Companion. That actually fixes a lot of things here. Glad we got the lockdown. I mean, there's so many. This is a really good hand, I think, for the situation we're currently in. We'll see. A 3-drop. Okay, so wait, let me read these again. Whenever it attacks, you may tap an untap citizen you control. If you do, it's 1/0 lifelink. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. If this is the second time its ability resolves, draw a card instead. Okay. Interesting. No blocks. We're going to need the bargain for the companion. And I'm going to do it now because I want to make sure we hit our land drops. We may have to discard the hand size, but I have to hit a land drop. Like, I just can't afford not to be throwing these down every turn. Let's grab a white source because we do have a black source in hand. And if we're going to drop a card, probably drop an Ob here. We can get it back later with the Paragon. A 4-drop. Okay, so the temporary lockdown not looking so hot here. Other citizens you control get 1/0 whenever attacks create a 1/1 green citizen token. Very interesting. What are the odds of them having removal spells, you know? Pretty high, right? Pretty high. I have a good hand, but I just don't know how I should go about it, honestly. I think the Circuit Mender is the right play here because I can stop the Gather from attacking in, which is great. And then I can also bounce off of the 2/4, so... And this says, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on this. Okay. Alright, bummer. This board state's getting a little annoying. A little bit of a bummer. Don't have a great way to deal with most of this stuff, unfortunately. I mean, if I go with the Paragon and they... Man, if they have removal, I'm toast. Toast. I don't think I want to do that. Lockdown only takes 2 of their cards. I think we wait on that. I think it has to be Paragon, man. I hate it. I hate that that's the card I'm playing out right now, but I think it has to be that card. It's the best blocker and best chance we have of protecting our life total right now. And obviously the value on the upside of that is so high. All right, so far so good. We don't see any exiling effects just yet. And if Paragon can maybe pick off 1 or 2 bigger things to be great. This is kind of a big deal. This is kind of a big deal here. So if I do this, I'm down, you know, I take 12, I'm down to 2. I mean, that seems fine. Seems fine. And then we just temporary lockdown pretty much almost their entire board. Pretty close too. Yeah, this seems okay. That gets also exiled. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Temporary lockdown. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Give me all the goodies. Give me all of the goodies. Let's go ahead and play Obscurus. It's a lot of life gain, by the way. Obscura gives me 1 life gain for itself, and then I get 2 because it gets exiled with the Paragon. Pass the turn, and I mean, we're good to go. We're good to go. We got to deal with that 7/6 body, but that's not a big deal with things like Liliana if I can isolate it onto the battlefield and have it be the only thing out there. This is good. This is good. This is the way. And I have a great blocker with the Circuit Mender because I can then replay it again, gaining more life. Take to the streets. Creatures you control get 2/2 until the end of turn. Citizens creatures control get 1 additional. Oh, okay, that's fine. Don't care about that. All right. We're gonna go down to 1. Little scary, I can't lie. Little scary, I can't lie. Here we go. Oh, I did forget about the bargain. That's right. The bargain gives me the life too. So good. Okay. Riveteers, again, a lot of life gain happening here. So many good spells in our hand to cast. The world is kind of our oyster, to be honest. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna get rid of the 2 cards in their hand here just to be on the safe side. Also, that's 2 bodies I can block with, so pretty happy about that. They're probably gonna have a hard time deciding, but there's really no need to have a hard time deciding because we also have this. All right, we should be able to take control of the game now. Worst case scenario, I'm going to leave this back to block. They're at 32 life. Me attacking in there makes no difference. And there's a chance, very small chance, they do something to my board state where I may need that to block. So, search your library for a number of cards named, gather, and throw. Okay. Reveal them, put them in your hand, and shuffle. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's going to give me a really hard time isolating out the celebrity now. Shoot. It's fine. This is fine. This is the way. Obscures the land. Let's go. Let's grab a plains. And let's draw a card. Let's drop a beetle. 1 card's got to go. And then do we Liliana here and just plus it? We could. We could. And then that will open the door for the Obnix list to almost guarantee itself to hit them for 2 every turn. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, we could do this a number of ways, to be honest. We could do this so many different ways. I'm gonna plus it though.
Don't overthink things.
And I think we're okay to attack now. 4 and 4. I have 8 life, yeah. Feel a little safer on the attack this time around. Another lockdown would be crazy. All right, that's annoying. They're up to 10-9, man. What a bummer. Who knows? Maybe we can plus on the Liliana all the way up to an alt. That'd be crazy. Really? Didn't expect that. Didn't expect that at all. All right. Let's go with Circuit Vendor. Let's go with the Ob. Circuit Vendor's gonna draw us a card, and it's gonna gain us even more life. Can't be too upset about that. I mean, from where we were at to now is like night and day. Absolutely night and day. Circuit Vendor again comes down. Might as well, right? Might as well. Might as well. They lose the 2-1. I could do it again next turn. Yeah, attacking. Start whittling them down. They're at 22 life total now. We've brought them down from like what, almost 40. So it feels pretty good. Bummer. That's just a nuisance of some like those cards are just nuisances, to be honest. Okay, well, we do have the nightmare, the braid, so hoping we can make something of it. I'll take 13. I got no problems taking 13. Let's see here. Let's take the original here. I think I'm gonna cast a second Ob here. So let's create a 1/1. Gain some life.
Your punishment.
And let's play out the Ob. Sack the Circuit Mender, drawing us another card. Another Ob. Love that. Love that. And we'll play a Braids. Alright, and now we've got Tenacious Underdog, which we can send through as an attacker. Drawing another card, but I would take some damage. But I could sack it with the braid. Yeah, let's do it. We can sack it with the braids. Let's do that. Let's do it. I am going to leave back, though, the Paragon this time to block, because it is getting a little hairy as far as our life total, because I took that 13 the last turn. So we're going to use the braids to sack the Tenacious Underdog. So they either have to sack a creature themselves, or they have to allow me to draw another card and take 2 life. Yep, I figured as much. There we go. Keep in mind, we gain 6 life next turn from pumping up the Obs here. And that was their only play. Looking pretty good right now. We're looking pretty good. So, do we want to take this Paragon out of play? I mean, it really sucks, honestly, to say this, but I think Paragon is the play to drop here. I could replay it. I mean, not the Paragon, I'm sorry. Why am I saying the Paragon? Braids. I think Braids is the card we take out, because we need the Devil to plus the Obs here. Okay, let's do this first. Do this first. Might as well. Might as well. Take out one of these little tokens. And braids. Or let's go Circuit Mender. Let's go Circuit Mender. Into another Ob. Circuit Mender into another ob here. Land. There's the scoop. They've seen enough finally now that we've got what, 5 ob Nixluses on the field. Oh man, what a grind fest. But man, we close that out pretty strong. Love it. That is going to conclude today's gameplay portion of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a lot of fun. Again, fairly powerful deck. I'm really happy with it. We're going to break it down now in full and show you guys just how we put it together. But before I do that, I want to give you guys a huge shout out if you made it this far into the video. It helps so much here on the YouTube algorithm when you stay this long. So big thank you to you. I do appreciate that so very much. With that being said, let's take a look at today's deck. So obviously Liliana the Veil, the card I wanted to play the most today, came up with some other ideas for her, but today I wanted to try it in the MARDU Sacrifice list because again, I saw that the Paragon was available and I'm like, these two cards to me seem like they go together very well. Paragon being able to bring things back from the graveyard. And so from there, I knew I had to build a shell that requires, 3 mana value, permanents or less as the main priority. And from there, we kind of got the same idea off of our old MARDU Sacrifice list of bringing things back that have some ETB effects. Things like Spirited Companion and the Virus Beetle. Both of these, drawing us cards, making our opponent discard cards. Those are some values that we can get out of these creatures every time they come onto the battlefield. And, then we can block, sack with these things, bring them back again over and over again. It's very, very high value, especially with the Paragon bringing things back. Like Spirited Companion drawing us cards over and over again. And then we have the Bargain. The Bargain's actually going to be like the new Deadly Dispute for me. This thing is really, really cool. I almost forget a lot of the times that we're also gaining life every time we cast this, but we're basically sacrificing a creature and drawing 2 cards, just like the Deadly Dispute, with the added benefit of us, gaining life. And then Tenacious Underdog obviously made a lot of sense, especially with the Liliana, because we can discard it and replay it later with its Blizz cost. And then here's where things got tricky. The 3-drop slot was a little interesting. I knew I needed Ob Nixilis in this deck as a win con because there was no real clear-cut win con in this deck. So I had to throw Ob Nixilis in here as the way to just kind of ping their life total once they're completely out of cards. So that was the idea behind the Ob, making this a Mardu deck. And then we've got Circuit Mender as a flex play because it's a really good card to just keep bringing back to life. Obviously, it gives us value on every entry of the battlefield and every time it leaves. Works perfect with the deck. And then Temporary Lockdown was a late addition. I actually had Drag to the Bottom before this card. And Drag to the Bottom, I'll show you guys. It's a new card. Drag to the Bottom. It's a domain card where every different type of land we have, we can power this thing up and essentially sweep the board with negative XX. But I didn't really like it. I mean, it was cool. It worked really, really well. But a lot of times it just wasn't very powerful if we didn't have our basics out there. So in this particular instance in Mardu, I wouldn't suggest it. Maybe in like a Triumph deck, maybe, but we don't have any Triumphs. So it's kind of hard to get this thing completely boosted up. So it didn't make a lot of sense. But what did make a lot of sense was the lockdown because we're just trying to get to the later game. And once we do, we typically almost win every time. So controlling the early game presence was the key. So this worked out really well. And then we got the Braids. Braids was really nice. I had 3 of these and 3 of these, but it turns out I only needed 2 Braids really. And then I needed to make sure our Paragons were fully maxed out because Paragon is a lot more important than Braids. But Braids was really cool because once it's on the battlefield with Paragon, we can sacrifice our own permanents, making our opponent sacrifice theirs, and start this cycle of like just bringing back whatever we sacrifice with Paragon, and our opponent's just gonna have to keep either sacrificing or giving us card draw, which is really powerful combination. You can also sacrifice your lands, by the way, with this thing, forcing your opponent into some bad spots if they're short on lands, which is really cool. And then we threw in a couple of these, and the reason I threw in the Stormfronts and the Overlooks is because the Paragon's ability to bring lands from the battlefield back to the field as well. So the replayability on these is really high. So thought that'd be good with the Paragon because once the card leaves the battlefield, it gets exiled and we gain 2 life. So when we drop a land like this, we're actually gaining 3 total life off of it. So thought that was a pretty cool idea. But ultimately, that's the deck in a nutshell, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's deck, man. It was a lot of fun. It was powerful. I couldn't ask for too much more, and it was a great way to start off the new set rotation. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, man. Before I get out of here, as always, huge shout out goes to the Mardu Mob. If you guys don't know, the Mardu Mob is the membership program here on the channel. And I got to give these guys a huge shout out at the end of every video to let them know how much I appreciate their support through their monthly memberships, because it does keep the channel alive, and I got to say it keeps the lights on, all that good stuff. So huge shout out to them. Big thank you. I do appreciate it a lot. And what else? Oh, a few things. The MARDU mob has new badges. That's right. We did new badges. I added one new emote. We're working on getting some more emotes for you guys down the road. But I did get the new badges done. I kind of like them a little more than the previous ones. I hope you guys enjoyed them as well. Yeah, just working on the emotes right now. Sorry, my train of thought is completely lost because I got out of video mode, and now we're just gonna talking straight up here. So trying to remember everything I want to tell you guys. But daily videos today all the way until next week. So next Friday, I believe we're gonna try our best to get you guys a daily video all those days. So I'm gonna get back to work now on the next video, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow for another one. Until next time, guys, peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Fizzy, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. With the upload, man. Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap.